I wanted to share an email with you from a guy that has successfully avoided the friend zone from my coaching, which I'm quite proud of. So he wrote me an email. I wanted to let you know that I had an interesting couple of days. Out of nowhere, a girl I was interested in a few months ago contacts me on Facebook. She wanted my number, so I gave it to her and she called me immediately. She began talking with me about her current boyfriend situation, and I started flirting with her and keeping up the sexual tension. She was loving it. She had broken up with him and was interested in me, but was torn about whether to give the boyfriend another chance. God. She asked me out, and we met 2 nights in a row for coffee. Talked 2.5 hours the first time, talked 3 hours the second time. Lots of texting, or sexting actually, and she told me I was making it hard for her to behave, but she had to decide whether or not to give her boyfriend a second chance. Eventually, she did decide to give him one more chance, but wanted me to know that she was very attracted to me, and since she is partially thinking her relationship may not work out, she wanted me to know if things do not work out, she wants to call me, date me, and get to know me. Okay? That was the part that made me throw up for a second, just hearing that behavior. And again, it's not manipulative, cruel behavior from a woman. It's actually just, well, it's selfish, number one, but it's insecure and anxious behavior. She's like treading water because she's unsure of what's going to happen in her relationship, and she's seeking out other people that she may be able to get the proper attention from. Okay, but this is what he told me, which I think is really great, because this is the proper way to handle a situation like this. Like, usually I would advise, don't even go out with her in the first place. If she wants to talk with you, let her break it off with her boyfriend first before you spend 5.5 hours chatting over coffee. But how he handled himself was absolutely fantastic, and I do like that he kept taking it to a sexual level rather than falling into the friend zone, as he did. He kept it as sexting, talking about attraction, not being the friendly ear to lean on. So he said, I told her I was disappointed and that I could make her no promises about being available, and she said that she understood, but she still said, don't be surprised if I call you. Hopefully, you won't tell me you have a beautiful girlfriend. I hope you do tell her that already. Already, but I have to give this another chance to work out, which, I respect. I understand that completely. There's certain times where you panic and you lean and reach out to somebody else. Again, it's selfish behavior, but it's very normal human behavior. Great at giving advice, horrible at reading. I told her she would not hear from me and that if she wanted to talk, the ball is in her court. Super sexy. She thanked me for being there and hinted that I may hear from her soon. We had a very good and productive conversation considering the subject matter and disappointment. I feel she was very genuine, which is unlike most conversations go. Anyway, that's like a could do without statement. Although things did not end up as I may have hoped, I was very confident, direct in my flirtation, and we had a fun and playful time for nearly 3 days. I don't know if I will hear back, and if I do, I'm not sure if I should give it a chance. Also, I am very much in need of being able to attractively date. Oh, that's a separate part about working with me in other areas, because I help people with their dating online. But anyway, I hope that you see that this is probably the best way to handle a situation so that you don't end up in the friend zone. Men who sit by a woman's side while she's going through this back and forth and don't state their needs, wants, and desires, don't end up getting what they want, especially with a woman, because they're not being a man. They're kind of being a girlfriend, and that's not attractive and not sexy. Unless she's a lesbian, then fair game. Have a great time. But if she is interested in men, and you don't act like one, then she will never want to be with you or be attracted to you. So I would love for you to listen to this over again, and I think that it's a really good example of how a man successfully avoided being in the friend zone by being direct, stating his boundaries, and sticking to them, which is super sexy. And I talk a lot about this in a couple of my programs, in What's Inside a Woman's Mind and How to Become a Man Women Want. It teaches you how to stand up, have some balls, and set some boundaries with women, because that's ultimately what they respect. They don't respect a jerk or an asshole who's going to fuck around with them and treat them horribly, but they respect a man who has boundaries. And these are very, very sexy and attractive boundaries. And if not for her to come back to him. It's for him to feel great about himself that he's handled the situation so well and that he doesn't have to dwell on the situation. He can walk away really tall and proud.